Hello and welcome to Economic Forum, where we discuss various issues affecting our economy in Zimbabwe. These can be issues to do with agriculture, with mining, with tourism, with education, anything that can be discussed in order to see how it affects our economy in Zimbabwe. My name is John Masugu. Today, we are going to be looking at what the Second Republic has done in terms of different projects that have been undertaken, some of them very big projects in the areas of construction, infrastructure development, education, and many other aspects. And we are delighted today to host none other than the special advisor to the president on monitoring implementation of government programs and projects. That's Dr. Joram Gumbo. Dr. Gumbo, welcome to Economic Forum.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, we're delighted because you're going to be giving us an overview of what the government has been doing. We've been seeing those projects that I've just mentioned. But first of all, let's look at what exactly you do in order to come up with this monitoring.
Thank you. Well, the mandate that I hold is to advise His Excellency, the President, on all projects being undertaken by various ministries, government departments, and agencies throughout the country, to give His Excellency an independent, coverage of the projects. What problems could be encountered by those implementing those projects, the hiccups that could be there, the progress that is taking place in the implementation of those projects, and also to make sure that there is a systematic way of reporting on those projects, so that quick action can be taken to bring in remedies where it is necessary, so that the projects are implemented for the benefit of our people.
Let's look at the major ones that are taking place that you have been monitoring. It's very important for people to know that these are government projects, because some of them, yes, they can be undertaken by the private sector, with the input from government. But let's differentiate them, those which are being implemented directly by government and those where there is a private-public partnership, so that Zimbabweans understand really what the government is doing.
Like you rightly said, there are actually many projects that have been undertaken under the Second Republic. Just to give a rough figure, from about 2018 to today, there's over 8,000 projects that have been undertaken by the Second Republic. Particularly, you look at infrastructure, road, construction. You talk about the Bite Bridge, Harare Chirundu Road. You talk about the Victoria Falls Bite Bridge Road through Bulawayo. You can talk of the Kanyemba Road, and many others throughout the country. A lot of road construction has been taking place. You can also look at various areas of development where you have got schools being registered, which used to be satellite schools. You can look at dam construction. You have got too many dams that have been constructed, which help through irrigation. Like Chivu Dam, Machekerona Dam, Murambida Dam, many other dams across the country, and to mining section as well. Many mines have been either resuscitated, like the Kama TV, like Pigstone, Eureka, you name them, many. And then you can also look at other projects like the ones being undertaken by the Ministry of Education, higher education and tertiary institutions, like the Mapfura plant.
The innovation projects, yes.
In Mwenezi, you can look at the Tabudirira plant where canning of vegetables is happening in Mashonaland East Province. Manize, that's in the mining sector.
Yes.
Sector. Really, the projects are all over. But the most important thing is that these projects are meant to improve the livelihoods of our people as we look at Vision 2030. So I think, in a nutshell, that's what one can say. But actually, there are many projects. Look at the Parliament building. One of the best, parliaments in Africa. Look at the Beitbridge border post. One of the best, I think, also in Southern Africa. And also you can look at the Robert Gabriel Mugabe International Airport. It's just one of those few projects that I can make mention of right now.
Yes. In undertaking all these projects, the Second Republic is working with the people. I think I would like you, advisor, to mention the importance of actually involving Zimbabweans in these development projects.
Yes, as we go around, we actually have an opportunity to talk to the people who witness these developments, and they tell us how they are having their lives being improved because of these projects. Some of the projects, like I've mentioned, where we have got dams and so forth, you can see that a lot of irrigation is taking place. I did not mention things like when you go to Lupane University or Zegu, which is the Zayuja University in Bindura. You find some projects there where people are involved in animal husbandry, and that is improving the lives of the people. People don't have now to go to other countries or places looking for jobs. They are now working in order to improve their own lives from their own local areas.
Yes, that's Dr. Joram Gumbo, who is the special advisor to the president on monitoring implementation of government projects and programs. We are taking a helicopter view of all the projects that the government is undertaking, where it is working with the locals. And again, in the second segment, we shall be talking to Dr. Gumbo about how the government is working with other countries. So join us in the second segment of Economic Forum. We are now in the second segment of Economic Forum, where today we are discussing various projects that are undertaken in the Second Republic. Quite a number of them in the areas of infrastructure development, in health, in mining, and also some innovations coming up from the tertiary institutions. And to discuss that, we have none other than the special advisor to the president on monitoring implementation of government programs and projects. You are never at one place, advisor Dr. Gumbo, because you have to move around the country, checking on these projects. But let's talk about the importance of our friendship within the region and internationally, because as we embark on these programs, as Zimbabwe, which is open for business, many other partners have come, to work with us. If you can touch on that point.
Yes, that's a very wide area to talk about. It is true that His Excellency's mantra is also that of engagement and re-engagement, which means that we have to understand and know that we cannot live in isolation. So whatever we do as a country, it must also be looked at in relation to other countries, be they our neighbors or from other continents, except other than Africa. We look at that, but our emphasis is actually only uplifting the lives of our people as we look at Vision 2030 and try and learn from other countries what it is that they have done which has lifted the livelihoods of their people. And in so doing, we look at friends like the Far East. We also even learn from those who do not recognize us as such, because you always learn even from your enemies, okay, or those who do not agree with you. You must learn from them and see how your people can actually benefit.
We mention this because we hold a number of conferences, yes, regional conferences and international conferences. And out of these conferences, friendship is molded. And through that friendship, we go into business. This is why we find different sites. We have friends from the Far East, friends from other parts of the world, working with locals. Now, if you could just emphasize on the importance of that, on how locals can then be left with those vital skills.
I like your question, or your inference to just what you have just said. Recently, we were at ZITF in Bulawayo, yeah, and many countries, I think over 30 countries from outside Africa came, and they actually had an opportunity to showcase what they are doing in their own countries. And we had the advantage of learning, yes, from their experiences, what it is that we can benefit from them, and even make alliances with those countries and the companies, so that we improve the lives of our own people. Yeah. So yes, linkages are possible, and they are not only possible within ourselves, but they're also possible, internationally.
Yes. Earlier on, we talked about the projects that are linked with infrastructure development, yes, construction, and so forth. But there are other projects that are really meant to develop the person. Yes. The dignity of the person. If you could just mention some of those programs and what we have done.
Looking at the social sector, like you rightly said, we've got many clinics and hospitals that have been built across the country. And following the mantra of His Excellency, no area is being disregarded. So a lot of clinics to look at the health sector for our people have been built across the country. And not only that, schools also, okay? And many institutions. I mentioned earlier on about Mafura and Mawuyu, those things that are happening in different areas.
In communities,
and which benefit the people there. So all those things, there have also been some projects that have been undertaken by His Excellency. Borehole drilling, so that we can have healthy vegetables for ourselves. We have heard of, fingerlings, these fish ponds that are mushrooming all over the country. Yes. Those things are also helping our people. One, on nutrition, and also not only nutrition alone, but also benefiting our people, because they start then to make a production and sell, and help to send their children to school and by paying fees and so forth and so on. So there are many things that are happening across the country.
That's Dr. Joram Gumbo, who is the special advisor to the president on monitoring implementation of government programs and projects. He's here to give us an overview of the many projects that the Second Republic has undertaken, some which can be seen in different communities. So join us in the third and final segment of Economic Forum. We are now in the final segment of Economic Forum, where today we are looking at different government projects with none other than the special advisor to the president on monitoring and implementation of Government Programs and Projects, Dr. MacDonald Joram Gumbo. Dr. Gumbo, when we talk of these partnerships, including Zimbabweans, how are we doing on excellence in things that we're producing on good standards?
I can't say that we have achieved what we want to achieve, but we're in the process of doing that. When you look at our country and our economy for now, and you want to compare our standards with our neighbors and other countries, we've got our own problems. Mind you, we cannot be there, like they say, the old adage, Rome was never built
In a day.
Yeah. So we are getting there. You can look at our roads. The general question people ask and they say when accidents do happen, they will say, but there were no road markings. And the police will have a problem to determine whether this driver was on the right side of the road and this one not. And the signs and so forth, which we must comply with according to SADC regulations on road signs, were not there. We have our own problems that actually make it difficult for us to attain those standards that we would want to attain or wish to attain as such. But we will be getting there. True, we lag behind in implementing some of those standards.
Yes.
Or coming to the level that we can say we're okay. Yes. On this one. But we should be getting there with time.
Yes. In this last segment, it will be up to Dr. Gumbo to actually look at our achievements,
yes,
as we monitor these projects, as we undertake different projects. Mm-hmm. We are 44 years old, yes, going into the 45th, and our slogan has been ZIMET 44, Unity, Peace and Development. Yes. So let's discuss that in the context of all these projects that are going towards the development of Zimbabwe, with that theme in mind.
Yes, I think what I can say on that one is that we must applaud our people of Zimbabwe for their resilience, and their peace-loving, because you see, when you have to develop a country, you need an atmosphere of peace. Okay, you also need people who are on their own determined to achieve what they think they must achieve in order to develop their own country. Having gone through the 44 years, and particularly the last 20 or 23 years in the situation that we find ourselves in as a country, and you find that our people are still going. If we were another people, we would be buried, we would not be there. But look at what is happening. Brick upon brick, stone upon stone, as the president would like to say, we are actually improving the lives of our own people. As you might know, that before our independence, we were still having problems when there was UDI. There was also problems in this country. But we have taken over again some of those problems and added some problems that, have been put upon our shoulders by the international community. But I'm happy to say that I think there is always time to change, and the things are just changing, and I think they will be changing for the good.
As you monitor these projects,
yes,
you also would want to address the viewers, the nation, about the importance of looking after our projects. The government has built you a dam, it has put up some infrastructure, it has done this and that. The importance of looking after those projects, because these are our own projects, our national projects.
As I always say, there is always a rotten egg in a basket, okay, of eggs. So what really at times I get concerned about is the vandalism that I see. Okay, we put up
signposts.
We put up the road markings on the road. People go about removing those. So I would want to ask for discipline from our people. Let's protect what we have put to for use by our own people, so that we protect it. Let's not vandalize our infrastructure, okay? Because the moment we vandalize the infrastructure, we will have to go back and spend more money on trying to correct the mistakes that we have done. Look at the railway line from Harare to Bulawayo. Okay, it used to be electrified. Our people have removed the electric lines. Okay, even the roads that I'm talking about, the road markings that you see, which will be glittering at night, so that our drivers can be protected. People go about removing those markings, and they use them some way. The road signs that I'm talking about, some people remove them and go and make posts or bells for their cattle and so forth and so on. That kind of behavior is not really something that we can applaud as a country. We should be disciplined and make sure that whatever we have, we protect it for ourselves and for the future generations.
Vagumbo mupuwe mazano kuna president taurai nyika nezvekukosha kwemabasa mazhinji ari kuitwa ekusimudzira nyika. Upinduchela abantu ngokuqhakatheka kwemisebenzi echiyeneyo enzwayo ekuthuthukiseni ilizwe.
Yairipo ndeyekuti ko isu senyika yeZimbabwe tinofanira kuchengetedza zvinhu zvedu zvatinenge tiinazo zvinobatsira kuti upenyu hwedu hunge huchisimukira pane ramangwana. Sokutaura kunoita president, pane zvakawanda zviri kuitwa nenyika nehurumende yeZimbabwe zvinotarisa kunzvimbo dzakasiyana-siyana, ingava migwagwa, kungava kumigodhi, kungava pamadiridziro, pangava muzvikoro, pangava pamaklinics. Zvese izvi zvinoitwa kuti upenyu hwedu huchinje, hukwirire pane zvahuma pamagariro hwakaita pazuva ranhasi. Asi zvinodawo futi isu savagari vomuZimbabwe kana vomunyika ino kuti tinge takabatana, tine runyararo, uye zvatinenge takwanisa kugadziridza izvi zvionekwe kuti izvozvo tinozvichengetedza kuti ramangwana redu rigonge rakamira zvakanaka. Kuchoelapa ikuti kona indawo kuti abantu baphumelele kumele kube lokuthula. Ukuthula nje kuti kumele ukuthi sikhangele ukuthi abantu bakithi eZimbabwe nxa kulento eza kuba yenziwe lohulumende, kungaba kusesikolo, kungaba kusemakliniki, imigwaqo, indawo zonke, kumele ukuthi sisebenze ndawonye, sibe lokukhangela phambili ukuthi ukuze siphumelele kumele ukuthi sisebenze ndawonye.
That's Dr. Joram Gumbo was our guest today. We're talking about the implementation and the monitoring of government projects and the programs on this edition of Economic Forum. What remains is to thank you very much, Dr. Joram Gumbo, who is the special advisor to the President on the monitoring implementation of government programs and projects. If you'd like to get in touch with us and also raise some of the issues that Dr. Gumbo was talking about here, you can do so on the numbers that are showing on your screen. If you'd like to engage with us on social media, again, the platforms are showing on your screen. If you have missed some of our episodes of Economic Forum, you can actually watch them on our YouTube channel, which is Economic Forum Zimbabwe. So on behalf of our guest, Dr. MacDonald Joram Gumbo, and the production crew, this is John Masugu wishing you happy viewing.